Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is mixtressrae. You're watching mixtress video. So I thought I would do an unfair comparisons today because I think I already know what the answer is, but I'm trying to decide because I've found that I am very attracted to variations of the RWS, but once I have them, I just have to decide between them. I think I have gotten to the point where I am comfortable with having two, but once I get another one, I have to get rid of it. So I will never get rid of my actual vintage yellow box, but having others, they're expendable. So I like to keep. Right now, I've been kind of alternating between keeping this one, Tarot Original 1909 Lo Scarabeo, keeping either this one or the Centennial in my purse. So I wanted to compare them today. As far as I want to actually score them and give them points, which means I should have a notebook and a pen, right? You'd think I would have prepared that. You know I didn't prepare that. Fucking shit. Okay. Let's actually keep track here, shall we? Okay, so we're gonna say 1909 is here versus Centennial here. Oh, I thought you guys could see that. You couldn't see it. Okay. Sorry. I'm a little delirious. The temperature has been going up and down for I don't know, weeks now. And it's just it's making my sinuses angry. Okay. So we're going to give points. Cardstock 1909 wins because it's thinner. It's thinner than the Centennial by, I don't know, probably 10 cards. Almost. Yeah, I mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, pretty much. It's thinner. It's that Lo Scarabeo cardstock that I like, so it's slightly skinnier of a card, which I appreciate. So cardstock is important to me. So I'm going to give 2 points for that because the card size is better on 1909 and the card thickness is better. It's much easier to shuffle. I will say though, just because I'm being fucking nitpicky, the corners are kind of jaggedly cut on this 1909 deck, which isn't normally an issue with Lo Scarabeo, so that's weird. Also, 1909 does not have copyright, so giving it a point for that. However, I do like how the Centennial, and I have not edged it, but because the Centennial has sort of this variation of antiqued cream tones on the borders, it gives it just a little bit of an edge on looking antique-y, because both of these decks look antique-y, but Lo Scarabeo just went with stark white borders, regular stark white borders. So I'm giving Centennial a point for that. Also, the Centennial has, you guys, this is such nitpicky bullshit, but I'm very detail-oriented, detail-obsessed. If you can see, the Centennial has, hand-drawn borders, and they're all different. Whereas this 1909, the borders are not hand-drawn. So, giving Centennial another point for that. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do a full flip through just because I don't want this video to be that long. And probably other people have done it. But these are similar in their color tones, these two decks. But the line work to me looks slightly, it's different. It's not the exact same line work. So I don't know, anybody that knows, like, you know, historical significance of RWS decks, like somebody like Brant Moonbaby or Melissa Zupan. I don't know if that's how you say her name. I think both of them are, and also Mindful Tarot, is her name Esther? She also, like, those are the type of people you should go to if you want, like, actual information about different versions of the RWS. But, so it's not me, but I would love to know if any of y'all know what the deal is with this. So I should probably go through. Like, what I've noticed is even the lettering is not completely the same lettering. The line work is slightly different on this 1909 deck. Sometimes it's like bolder, like it is here. Other times it's, I don't know, there's just something weird about this deck. Sorry about the glare, guys. There's something a little wrong about this. See how fine the line work is on this card as opposed to this one? It's bolder, thicker lines here. It's almost like they had people redoing the line work slightly or something. And they just had a team of people redoing the line work slightly, very slightly. And it's just, it almost seems like different people. There's the internal consistency of this deck, of this 1909 deck, is kind of off to me. Even sometimes the coloration within a card is off to me. Like how this little piece of the, I mean, I guess it kind of matches that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I am definitely not the one. But see, like, why is there like bleeding of the red? And it's not like this deck never has that. There's a little bit of bleeding of the blue of the collar into this other portion here. And it's kind of the effect of sort of the printmaking textures that they use. And they really do employ that quite a lot in this 1909 deck. There'll be like different cross-hatching techniques and stuff. And I like it a lot of the time. But, I mean, look at, these are two different letterings. These are not the same. Like, it's based on Pixies, unless this is more accurate than this. But I don't know. It is like super fucking windy outside, you guys. It's like so windy I can feel it inside the house. Crazy. I mean, look how big that strength lettering is. Big and thick. Which, fine, except that it's not consistent throughout the deck. It's not like that on every card. Like, this one's much more fine lettering. Like, just look at that difference. Like, what the fuck? So for me, this is just, in this justice. Boom! Justice! Look how big that is. Why? And these are like almost different faces even. I don't know. And at first, you know, I had these thoughts because I've had this deck for like a month now, this 1909 deck. I was like, okay, well, whatever. That doesn't mean that it's going to bother me necessarily when I'm doing readings with this deck. Like, am I really going to be thinking about the fact that, you know, the line work might not be exactly Pixie's line work? Like, am I really going to be that obsessive about that? I kind of tend to be that way, yes. But, like, I think I like this Tower card better, actually, because it looks cleaner. It's easier to see what's going on. But then look at the difference between the line work. You go from the Tower to the Star. It's thick and bold and dark in the Tower. And then you get to the Star and it's like this delicate printmaking quality. There's not a lot of contrast in the colors. The lettering is so different. Whereas that's not happening here. These two cards look like they're from the same version of this tarot deck. I don't know. Am I being too picky? What do you guys think? Is this the most boring content that you've seen on YouTube today? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I just, even when I've been like carrying around 1909 in my purse and I do like a little reading for myself, on like a lunch break or something at work, it's jarring to me to have like these cards next to each other, because you see a card like this that has nice delicate line work next to something else with bolder line work. You know, it's not a consistent deck. The color story is not super consistent. It's not terrible, but just from one card to the next, the color story is not exactly the same. Whereas it feels very consistent with the Centennial, for sure. Some cards sorry, I'm looking at them in real life and not looking at what you guys can see. I don't know. Sometimes I prefer the color in the 1909 deck, but to be honest, who fucking cares, right? I mean, I care. Obviously, I fucking care. But I wish I didn't care. And the problem with me is I cannot mentally deal with having multiple versions of the RWS. Like, for some reason, it just, like, for me, it just bothers me. It's like, okay, I need to fucking pick one because there's no reason for me to have both of these things. If it doesn't serve a very specific purpose, there's no reason for me to have it. So at first I thought that I would be keeping this Tarot 1909 in my travel altar, and perhaps I will, you know? Perhaps I will still do that. Keep it in my travel altar, try to pretend that it doesn't exist, keep the Centennial in my purse, and then I have my yellow box with all of my other decks. I mean, that could work, for sure. See, these are different fucking faces, right? Aren't they? It's like a different expression on the face. Obviously, the color choices are different. You can't even tell what this little brooch is on this one. Whereas here you can, if you look closely, you can tell that it's like a little lion face or something, probably. Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear to me which one of these decks is the one I'm going to keep, but it's different. This is different line work. Look at these, like, Pixie's little sigil at the bottom. That's different. Those are different. Which one is real? I'm inclined to believe that the US Games one is real, since they hold, like, the real copyright or whatever. Right? I mean, I could be wrong. Anyway, it is kind of fun because I end up acquiring, like you can see on this channel, I've had several different versions of the fucking RWS at different times. I had the Albano weight and I didn't really like it. And because it was very, like, look how bold the line work is on this Three of Cups. So bold. Like, if the whole deck was this, you know, if the whole deck picked a fucking lane, I might be more inclined to keep it. At first I was thinking, you know what, because this one does not have the hand-drawn borders, maybe this could be one that I could trim and have a borderless RWS, because I don't have a borderless, because I did have the Centennial back in like 2019. I had the Centennial. It was the first deck I ever trimmed. I didn't really know what I was doing, but also an RWS with hand-drawn borders is difficult to trim because it's not completely consistent card to card, which is why the RWS needs to have a border. Like, if you want to preserve Pixie's artwork, which I do, then it needs to, see, I mean, I know I just keep showing the same kind of examples of things, but just like, look at this Three of Cups next to the Six of Cups. Like, if you were to pull both of these in a reading, like, to me, they don't, I mean, obviously they're both RWS Pixie artwork, but they don't really look like they're from the same deck, because this one's very, very fine line work and this one's super bold. Are we looking at a similar situation just in general? This is a Centennial, obviously. No, these look like same exact line work. So the question that I have then, I guess, for RWS historians out there, did US Games do something to make Pixie's artwork look more consistent card to card? And is this how it actually was? Because it could be that just, like, you know, she had inconsistent line work shit going on. Although, even if I found that out, would I prefer it? I mean, a lot of people love the Centennial for a reason. It looks old. It's her original artwork. It preserves her lettering, her little sigil, all that stuff. And looking at them next to each other, the stark white of the borders on this 1909 kind of bothers me too. I love that his face is kind of blushing. It's the blushing Nine of Cups, guys. Highly sought after. Costs only like $15 fucking dollars. Do it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Like, and this right here, like, what's up with that? It's just like a chunk of the tunic that they forgot to color in. Something feels very sloppy about the execution of this 1909, unless they are doing something to truly try to preserve. And I looked in the guidebook, and there doesn't seem to be an explanation of, like, I thought maybe, like, the introduction of the guidebook might have something about, like, why they're calling this the 1909. Did they do something to try to preserve some original printing of this deck? I mean, besides the, like, sort of print making, I don't really know the right wording for it, but, you know, the way that they're doing, like, sort of the textures of the skin and the different colors, the way that they're reproducing the colors seems to be in a more 1909 fashion, I guess. But it feels like they rushed the execution of this or something, or they had too many different artists working on it or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? This one doesn't even have these little guys. I don't know if these little white Harrys are something that is, you know, something that was on the original deck or not, you know? but I prefer that extra detail. I mean, some of it's just because I'm used to the Centennial. I've been working with the Centennial since early 2019 when I got the Centennial in a 10 version. And then I bought the full size, and then I cut it up to make it borderless, and that made it really jagged and awful. So then I turned it into a tarot wall, and then a patron very kindly gifted me this Centennial, and I got rid of the 10. And I've had the Albano Wade and gotten rid of it. And I've had other versions of the RWS as well. I had that one that I nicknamed the Pale RWS. I forgot what it was actually called. I gave that away. I just apparently need to remember that for me personally, having more than just my vintage copy and a Centennial, I don't need to have it. I just don't. This one has a flaw on it that I'm sure most people's don't, because it looks like it's like a piece of the backing, but it's not from the backing. When I didn't even compare the backings, I like the Centennial backing, but this appeals to me as well. So, I don't know. I'm going to give the artwork of the Centennial a point. I'm going to give the consistency of the artwork a point. Those are going to be two separate things for me. I'm going to give the backing a point for 1909. Yeah, I don't know. So now they're neck and neck, but really they're not, because the inconsistency of the artwork, honestly, the inconsistency of the artwork, there you go, gives the Centennial another point. It gets 2 points for the consistency of the artwork. I mean, these faces are different. The line work is different in 1909, and I don't know. Okay, you know what? Fuck. Shit. Fuck shit. Should have put this third one in order too. Okay, let's see. Let's find something that I can compare. Here's a 9 of Pentacles. Here's the 5 of Pentacles. Here's a 7. Hey, why not? Just because. Okay, we don't have to do this with like 1,000 cards or anything. Calm down. No one cares. Okay, here's the 2 of Swords. Here's the 2 of Swords here, so I can hold them all up to see, like, just looking at the line work. Okay, that's different in all 3 of them then. It is. What is up with that? What does that mean? I mean, if you look at the faces, the line work is different in all 3 of these. The hair pattern even is different. The hands, I'd say they're closer to each other in the Centennial and my vintage version. My vintage yellow box. They're more similar to each other. What is up with that? Why is the line work different? I don't understand what that means. Help me. Help me, guys. Help me. Okay, let's just put these like in general order so that when we get to them, we can compare those two. Whatever. God, do you guys hear that wind? You have to hear it. It's crazy. Wind advisory. Okay, here we go. Again, we're putting my vintage yellow box in the middle, Centennial all the way to the right, 1909 on the left. This one, it's much more obvious that the vintage yellow box and the Centennial are same line work. Whereas it's absolutely different line work on this 1909. It's different. It just is. Aren't the same faces. If you look at like the pattern on like the window frame at the bottom, it's different on the 1909. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it matters. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't fucking matter at all, does it? But ooh, I like the color though in the 1909 Seven of Pentacles. The orange and like minty blue of the outfit. I prefer that actually. But just because I prefer that actually doesn't mean that I need to have all three of these goddamn decks. I mean, people that like to collect RWS decks, this is not against you. This is just for my own personal bullshit. My own personal brain bullshit. I can't withstand having multiples of the exact same artwork. And look how thick the like borders on the pentacles are. In just this one card. It's not the whole deck. This one's a little less obvious to me. But the pattern on the dress, okay, now that's obvious. The pattern on the dress is a lot different on this 1909. Yeah, I just think somebody redid the line work in this 1909. That's what I think. That is my thought, and I could be wrong. All right, well, just because I'm this far in, I might as well finish. But for me, I think either I'm gonna throw this 1909 in my little travel altar, but I don't really need to do that because I have my backup copy of Marigold in my travel altar, and I almost always have either this or Halloween Tarot in my purse, which are both extremely easy to read tarot decks. So no matter what, I'm gonna have my purse with me, and if I go somewhere with my travel altar, I'm gonna have my purse, so I'm gonna have this, and then I'm gonna have the travel altar, which has my Marigold Tarot. So I don't need this to be in the travel altar. And I use Modern Witch in the tub because that thick ass glossy cardstock really withstands. I've actually dropped a card to the bottom of the tub a couple of different times, and you cannot tell because I just rescued it really quick and dried it off, and it's essentially waterproof. So if you have that thick ass cardstock of Modern Witch and you hate it, you will learn to sort of accept it if you use it as your tub deck. If you, like me, need to read even in the tub, which is, I also like to read books in the tub, which is why I'm thinking about getting a new Kindle, because the newest Kindle is waterproof, guys. Or maybe it's like the last several versions of the Kindle are waterproof now. Anyway, whatever. Y'all don't care. My mom thinks I should make merch that says, anyway, whatever, y'all don't care. Okay. So that's that. Unfair comparisons between, I don't have the box to Centennial anymore because I'm always keeping it in like a bag or something anyway. There you go. What do you think? Do you think anything? Do you care? I wish I didn't care. I really do. I wish I didn't care. Oh my God. Anyway. Okay. Bye.